WCCB News Edge with Morgan Fogarty on Charlotte CW.
What are the chances your spouse will stray? It has everything to do with money. We'll tell you who's getting more bang for the buck. Swimsuit season is here, and reality star turned designer Lauren Conrad is banning body shaming from her website. The words she wants to leave unwritten.
The rest is still unwritten.
There's so many times in my life that I question, is this really what I wanted to do? Is this really, you know, am I really good enough to play in the NFL? Am I good enough to have everything that I've dreamed for? And I can honestly say, with hard work and dedication and with the unbelievable supporting cast, you can get there.
Cam signs a contract extension with the Carolina Panthers for the next 5 years. Is the QB worth almost $104 million? Of course he is. We're going to talk about it, Brett. Cam Newton's future with the Carolina Panthers is no longer in doubt. Newton agreed to a 5-year contract extension with the team, keeping him in town until 2020. I love that picture. The deal is reportedly worth $103.8 million, making number one the third highest paid quarterback in football, only behind Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. That brings us to our question of the night. Is Cam Newton worth $103.8 million? Let's kick this one around. Matt Harris from the Matt and Ramona Show on 107.9 The Link. FoxSports.com writer Brett Jensen and comedian QCB from WFNZ Sports Radio. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I think Cam is absolutely worth this. I think he deserves this, and I think the Panthers had no other option but to do this.
They didn't, and because when you're average...
Brett's head's about to explode.
When you're an average quarterback in the NFL, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. I don't. And they really had to do this. Maybe not for the amount they did, but pretty close. I mean, we were reasonably close after Tannehill and Dalton and all these other losers got money too. So I don't think they had a choice.
And by the way, Russell Wilson tonight is like, woo woo.
Right. Well, the Seahawks might play hardball more than the Panthers.
Morgan, we don't do that no more. So, that went out with woo woo woo.
Hey, go to the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
I'm gonna let it slide. But go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead.
All right.
Brett, take it away.
Are we
You
ready
think
now?
they should have let him walk?
First of all, they had him for 3 more years. He couldn't go anywhere. They had him for 3 more years.
Right.
This contract's for 5 extra. They can actually, the way the contract's going to be written, they could probably get rid of him after 3 years.
Well, they'd have to franchise him.
Yeah, they franchise him. Well, they had him this year. They can franchise him that year, and then the year after that as well.
If he doesn't hold out.
Okay.
No. Well,
is he worth it?
Is he worth it? I will say this. Any athlete, I've never begrudged any athlete for getting what they get paid. I mean, so many people say, oh, they're not worth this, they're not worth that. You know, when's the last time anyone complained about Tom Cruise getting $35 million for a movie? Nobody ever says about that, but they will, complain about Cam Newton making $20 million a year. All that being said, compared to his contemporaries, I think he's getting overpaid from what his peers are making. When you're talking about a guy who's not one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, he's better than half the quarterbacks, but he's not better than half the quarterbacks.
What do the Panthers do then?
Yeah.
What do the Panthers do then?
Well, I mean,
they need a quarterback.
Yeah, and they signed him. And look, given the market of today, they did the right thing by signing him. I don't have a problem with him signing him. I didn't have a problem with the $100 million. I mean, that's...
Mr. Richardson, are you listening? Brett says he didn't have a problem with it, so you can sleep easy tonight.
Well, you know what? They should do more listening to me. I promise you that.
We won't know Cam Newton's worth it until a couple years down the line. I mean, if he wins 2 Super Bowls in the next 5 years, yes, he's worth it. If he wins 1 Super Bowl, yes, he's worth it. But who else is going to give it to? Derek Clipboard Anderson? Like, who was you going to give it to?
So you're talking about Anderson who went 2-0 last year?
2-0. Yeah, give him
Derek Anderson who went undefeated last year?
Derek Anderson is a fantastic backup quarterback. We're lucky to have him.
Cam Newton who went 5-8-1 last year?
He's really big feet.
He beat West Charlotte and Independence. Okay, he's 2-0. But Cam is the best offensive player of the team. You had to give him his money. So
they're paying him for what he will do in the future. A lot of times they're paying quarterbacks on what they already did.
There you go.
So a guy wins, like Joe Flacco wins the Super Bowl, he gets paid on what he did. Cam is getting paid on what he might do.
Well, that's exactly
right.
It's all about might.
Beyond Cam Newton, obviously this is a great deal for Cam. A lot of people are criticizing Gettleman for this move.
The thing about Gettleman, this goes against everything that he's done in the past because he's been extremely shrewd. He's been extremely shrewd.
How is this not shrewd?
shrewd giving someone $60 million overpaying in the guaranteed contract money?
You always front end these contracts.
But not for $60 million.
And the cap structure is going to change, and this is going to all level out.
Everyone just figured it would be like $45, $46, $47 million. No one ever saw $60 million coming.
And ever since Gettleman came to town, people have been kind of bashing him for his decision makers.
I think he's been dead on with all his
decisions. When he released Steve Smith, the Panthers fan base went nuts.
It was the right move.
I'm just telling you what happened.
Absolutely, because it was the right move, and Panthers fans have to learn that this is part of the business of the NFL.
But when Steve gonna have a Pro Bowl year like he did, and then when he did to the Panthers when he played them, he had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but everyone did that to the Panthers last year. What's that saying?
And look, Gettleman.
That was one Steve Smith game. He didn't have a huge season.
He still went to the Pro Bowl.
Gettleman was with the Giants when Eli Manning took them to the Super Bowl, to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Eli Manning is comparable to what Cam Newton does on the field. Statistically, he is. They built a strong defense, or a strong offense and a strong defense around Eli Manning. They're going to do the same thing with the Carolina Panthers. And that's why Dave Gettleman is shrewd and continues to be shrewd.
But they still, the $60 million guaranteed is too much. It's just too much. I mean,
because you want some of it?
What was Tannehill?
Doesn't everybody?
Well, when you say what somebody's
Tannehill was in the mid-40s.
Yeah. And when you say what is somebody worth, is it real? I don't think we're talking like literally.
Right.
Is he worth that much money?
Right.
It's in context.
Comparatively speaking to his peers, other quarterbacks.
I want to read one tweet to you, and then we got to move on. This is from John Sane at JP Sane on Twitter. He says there are 32 teams and only about 18 to 20 good quarterbacks. So you either pay him or you play against him.
Well, I don't have a problem. It's just the $60 million was like, whoa, he's getting $67 million over 3 years, the most paid over a 3-year span in NFL history.
Do you know how many capri pants that can buy?
That's exactly
a lot of capri pants. A lot of
exactly right. And you're already jealous, aren't you?
He might even get some public speaking classes with that extra money.
Oh, bless his heart. Okay. Despite being in business for 19 years, the WNBA is still not making a slam dunk when it comes to attendance. According to the New York Times, the average NBA game attendance hovers around 17,500, and the WNBA about 7,000. So how can the league bring in more fans? Well, one sports columnist thinks lowering the rims is worth a shot.
Wow.
This
is terrible.
Lower the rim, what the heck? No one's going to watch women's basketball. You can lower it this high. We're not going to watch it.
If a game broke out in my driveway, I would move.
Even if you had a play school basketball thing?
I would move.
Before you see a sold-out WNBA game, you'll find a NASCAR fan who loves to read the dictionary.
But explain for people who are not, huge sports fans, why lowering the rim would potentially
because they think it would bring more athleticism, more excitement, because there would be dunks, more like the guys' game, because there's only like maybe 2 or 3 women that can actually dunk right now, and.
It's just not a good product. It's just not a good product.
So dunking is what's holding the WNBA back.
The athleticism, the excitement, the speed, everything.
Here's the thing. It's not like I am sexist about this. I just only want to watch the best basketball. I don't want to watch, be it women or little people or giants or whatever, play. Yeah. I just want to see the best basketball. I don't want to watch Division III basketball. I just want to watch. I'm not going to waste my time. I'd rather watch those guys in the trampoline do those tricks.
As a matter of fact, in the mid-'90s, late '90s, they actually went to smaller basketballs for women, because women used to play with men's basketballs as well. They were the same size. They made the basketball smaller, thinking, okay, they'll make them handle the ball better, they'll make them shoot the ball better, it'll be easier for them to deal with. Now they're talking about maybe lowering the rim.
And they tried everything. They tried to bring ex-players like Bill Lambert, Muggsy Bogues, the Coach Sheets team. Bruce Jenner.
The NBA was owning them.
The market is what the market is. People either want it or they don't. It seems like they just don't want it.
No, they don't. They don't care. Who cares? Who cares?
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, Huckabee as president remains to be seen. Huckabee as comedian, epic failure. And Lauren Conrad played a good girl on MTV, and the reality star turned fashion designer still wants people to play nice. How she's banning body shaming from her website.
WNBA. See it. Touch it.
Now, I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that I could have felt like a woman when it came time to take showers in PE. I'm pretty sure I would have found my feminine side and said, Coach, I think I'd rather shower with the girls today.
First up on Edge on the Clock, Mike Huckabee says there's a time he wishes he could have been transgender, as you just heard him say there. The Republican presidential candidate made the joke in February, but the comments were uploaded to YouTube over the weekend by WordNet Daily. And of course, people are all over this saying, a lot of people saying, Huckabee, take a seat.
Well, I think seeing him, and he said the coach, like, let me go. When's the last time I did any sports? I don't see that tub doing any sports. And second of all, he's all worried. He's only like 0.3% are transgender. Do they think that all these guys dressed as women are waiting for little girls to come into the bathroom? What does he think is happening here?
Yes, that's exactly what he thinks. He thinks that they're predators.
They're just hanging out all day, putting on women's clothes, going into the bathroom. And you go in a women's bathroom, you're not seeing anything anyway. You're behind the doors. Trust me, I've tried to see women pee for years, and it's very difficult.
Huckabee, sit down.
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner chose her name after being inspired by the Miss America pageant. Caitlyn told Vanity Fair she had been watching the pageant in the last couple of years to come up with ideas for names. Caitlyn previously considered Heather, Kathy, even Caitlyn with a K, before finally settling on a name suggested by her personal assistant. She should have called herself Huckabee. Huckabee would be a good name. She couldn't do with a K, that's for sure.
Because it would, yeah, Kim, Chloe, Courtney.
Then it becomes like
all the other ones,
a gimmick or something like that.
I think it's already a gimmick.
No, it's not a gimmick now. The name would be a gimmick. Just changing isn't a gimmick because that's the real thing.
No. I mean the K name.
The K name, yes. Yes.
The Kardashians have made it a gimmick.
But he's just definitely not a Heather. There's no way that she is a Heather. You think? That's not a Heather. I'm going to think more of an Ethel.
Caitlyn does seem like a younger sounding name for somebody of Caitlyn's age.
68 or whatever.
Yeah, approaching 70.
Like an older name. But hey,
I think Ethel is probably a little bit older.
Old?
Yeah.
Mabel,
there you go. Lauren Conrad is the latest celebrity to distance herself from anything that could be considered body shaming. Elsie announced today she is banning the words skinny, slim, and thin from her website.
Oh, God.
Whew, you can sleep easy tonight. She'll be replacing them with fit, healthy, and toned. And the only thing that will be called skinny on her website are skinny jeans.
So, but now we're going to do the opposite. So that means the chubby people are unfit, untoned, and unhealthy, and they'll complain about that. People just worry too much. It's just words. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Some caveman called his girlfriend skinny. Another one called him fat.
Words
and we've all survived.
I mean, it's easy to say they're just words, but words can hurt. But yes, it does seem like,
we worry all the time. It's just changing a little word here and a word there. And it's
and for people who struggle with body image, I think seeing even the words fit, healthy, toned, whatever, they still sort of make you anxious. I mean,
and there's nothing you can do. If people are anxious, I mean, I got low self-esteem about my body, but you don't see me crying till the cameras go off.
Actually, I do see you crying.
Yes, I know, you do. Maybe.
If you're a female breadwinner, this next story may surprise you. Why daycare dads are prone to infidelity. Ooh.
That's how I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I'm supposed to be. Yeah, that's how I'm supposed to be. Everything look like it's supposed to be. Pull up to the club and they go up.
You might presume that men who give up work to look after the children are more dedicated to their family unit, but a new study says they're more likely to have an extramarital affair. In fact, the greater the earning gap between the stay-at-home dad and his working wife, the greater the chance that he will be unfaithful. In contrast, the more financially independent the woman, the less likely she is to have an affair.
You got to prove you're masculine because you've been emasculated because the woman's making more. I think that's what's going on there. Plus, you're home. There's chicks everywhere.
Nah.
Yeah.
At daycare, at the park.
What time does a stay-at-home dad have to have an affair?
Well, is it 30% of all women make more than their husbands? 30% of women make more than their husbands.
I hope that day
and that's
comes.
every guy's dream.
I would love to be a stay-home dad. I would love it.
Every guy's dream.
Is it every guy's dream? So if you all were married, I know you're married.
I'll walk my girl to the door with a robe on, a bowl of Captain Crunch, and some slippers. And the only person I cheat on her with is Nikki Newman from Young and the Restless.
There you go.
That's it.
Little Cricket.
That's it. Oh, yeah, Cricket.
Yeah. Get me started.
What
What about Jackie Garrido?
That's on
Jackie
Tuesday.
Garrido, too.
Yeah,
That's true.
So just TV people.
No, man. And Sarah Lee.
You got just a box of wipes next to you on the table, watching you soap operas all day?
Brett, save us, please.
I don't date women unless they start making out $100,000 a year.
Okay, and that's why you're not dating anybody. There's more eggs, including the headlines and forecast, when we come back.